China sent warships and dozens of fighter jets toward Taiwan on Saturday, the Taiwanese government said, in retaliation for a meeting between the U.S. House of Representatives Speaker and the president of the self-ruled island democracy, claimed by Beijing as part of its territory.
The Chinese military announced the start of three-day combat readiness patrols as a warning to the Taiwanese who want to make the island's de facto independence permanent. The People's Liberation Army gave no indication whether they might include a repeat of previous exercises with missiles fired into the sea, which disrupted shipping and airline flights. Speaker Kevin McCarthy held talks with President Tsai Ing-wen on Thursday in California, adding to a series of foreign lawmakers who have met Tsai to show support in the face of Chinese intimidation. Beijing responded Friday by imposing a travel ban and financial sanctions against American groups and individuals associated with Tsai's U.S. visit. On Saturday, 8 warships and 42 planes were detected near Taiwan, 29 of which flew across the middle line of the strait that separates it from the mainland, the island's Ministry of Defense said. It said they included Chengdu J-10, Shenyang J-11, and Shenyang J-16 jet fighters. Also Saturday, the Navy planned to hold live-fire training in Luoyuan Bay in Fujian Province opposite Taiwan, the local maritime authority announced. Ships were banned during the firing, which also was due to take place on 5 dates over the next 2 weeks. The Taiwanese military said missile defense systems were activated and air and sea patrols were sent to track the Chinese aircraft. We condemn such an irrational act that has jeopardized regional security and stability, a Ministry of Defense statement said. Chinese President Xi Jinping's government has stepped up efforts to intimidate the island by flying fighter jets and bombers nearby and firing missiles into the sea. The United States has no official relations with Taiwan, a center for high-tech industry, and one of the biggest global traders, but maintains extensive informal and commercial ties. Washington is required by federal law to ensure the island of 22 million people has the means to defend itself if China attacks. Last week, the U.S. Gerald R. Ford and its strike group completed the final certification needed to ready the aircraft carrier for its maiden warfighting deployment. The Ford slipped into port Sunday at Naval Station Norfolk, following a month-long composite training unit exercise, COMP2EX, off the East Coast, while the Navy's newest and most technologically aircraft carrier has conducted short, training-focused deployments. Completion means the Ford is now a certified combat deployable warship. After we complete COMP2EX, Ford and our crew will be fully integrated with the carrier strike group as a cohesive, multi-mission fighting machine ready to sail over the horizon to support national tasking, said Captain Paul Lanzalotta, Ford's commanding officer, ahead of the certification in the April edition of the Warships Monthly magazine. COMP2EX served as a doctorate-level test of the strike group's ability to operate collectively across the spectrum of warfare areas, while incorporating the first-in-class Gerald R. Ford into the strike group, said Rear Admiral Greg Huffman, commander of Carrier Strike Group 12. The training included Destroyer Squadron 2, Guided Missile Cruiser U.S. Normandy, and Guided Missile Destroyers U.S. Ramage and U.S. McFall, all of which are based in Norfolk, and U.S. Thomas Hunter, Carrier Air Wing 8, primarily based out of Naval Station Norfolk and Naval Air Station Oceana, also participated. During the 4 weeks, units were tested on their proficiency and readiness through scenario-based live training that increases in complexity and intensity, U.S. Fleet Forces Command said in a press release. The simulated combat situations included aircraft, submarine and missile attacks, ship casualties, and engineering and communication drills. The robust scenarios challenged every facet of our warfighting capability, enabling growth and learning at every level, allowing us to further refine our warfare tactics and processes. Our readiness is the highest it has ever been, and I feel fortunate for the opportunity to deploy with this amazing team, Huffman said. Let's see if U.S. military will deploy its new and largest aircraft carrier to the center of the tension now,